Okay, hello there, I'm Dennis, and in this video we're going to install a printer. The journey's going to start right here in the FreeBSD handbook. It's chapter 9, it's under the printing. Then we're going to cover cups, we're going to set up the cups, and we're going to do both USB and wireless printing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up Octo package because we need some software. Now some of these packages, if you installed GIMP, for example, just show you what I'm talking about. On this computer, I installed GIMP, and by default, GIMP will install its own gutenprint as well as the default gutenprint. So that's one thing in this list that we won't have to worry with. But if you don't have it, you will need it. Let's go ahead and start with cups. Cups, as you'll see right here, that comes in by default during the base installation. The filters, I can only guess that come in with GIMP as well. We're going to start right here with cups and cups filters. We got that. Next thing we need is the PDF. We click on information. It'll tell you virtual printer for cups to produce PDF files. We're going to get that. We're going to get the PK helper. We're going to get the Pi 5 net cups, Pi 38 Pi cups, system config printer, and I feel like I missed one. Oh, it's right here. Then HPLIP, that's all of these. Let's see what filters we already had. We got cups PDF, helper, the net cups, Pi 38 Pi cups, and system config printer. So next thing we need is HPLIP. All right, we're going to install that. Info right here show you that it contains drivers and utilities for HP printers and all-in-one devices. We're going to install that. All right. Next one we're going to go ahead and get is under foomatice. We'll be getting foomatice DB. Info there will show you it's a database for integrating printer devices with common spoolers. Install, and we're also going to get foomatice DB HIJS. Info will tell you that it's foomatice data for the HPIJS printer drivers. I'm going to get those. All right. Printer, cups PDF, helper. I believe that's it. I'm going to go ahead and apply, and it'll gather up a bunch of dependencies. Like you can see, these are all dependencies, and we're going to say yes. Now, once that's installed, should have all the drivers as well as cups installed that we're going to need, and we're going to need HPLIP to configure our printers. Let's go back to the printing web page. Let's go to the cups. Now, that's down at the very bottom. If you follow this web page all the way down to the very bottom, I think it's at the very bottom. Yep, cups right here. If you click on that, that'll open up this. Without cups, you don't print. Common Unix printing system. Without it, you don't print. We're going to have to configure our cups print server, and here is the command right here to do that. One of the things I found interesting, it says USB printers can be connected to any available USB port on the computer. When FreeBSD detects a USB printer, two device entries are created, dev ULPT0 and dev UNLPT0. Data sent to either device will be relayed to the printer. After each print job, ULPT0 resets the USB port. Resetting the port can cause problems with some printers, so the UNLPT0 device is usually used instead. UNLPT0 does not reset the USB ports at all. Now we're going to do this right here. We're going to copy this into our Etsy DevFS rules, and the top line is UNLPT. So what I'm saying is, after we get through with the install here, first step will be configuring our CUP, Common Unix Printing Service. And this is going to take a minute to download, and there's really nothing I can do until I guess we could talk about, well, it's not going to work. I'll show you that when I get back. I'm going to pause the video for now, and I'll be back when this gets through here. Fetching and installing. Okay, so it's through fetching and it's installing, and it's about through with that. It's not going to take much longer. There we go. Now, you want to read the notes, and you'd get the same notes in if you installed all of this to a terminal. The CUPS PDF port currently does not have a maintainer. If you report an issue, USB config DXY, as you can see right here, the DXZ, this is what this is talking about. Don't learn and ever run USB config to get that. So all of that's installed. I'm going to go ahead and close that out because it's just in the way at this point. We got to configure their cups. All right. First thing we're going to do is bring up at least one terminal. And I'm going to run sudo USB config and press enter. And right here we see Deskjet 4100 series connected at USB 2. And the number is UGen 2.5. All right. Now we're going to say, let me bring up another terminal. And we'll run dmessage. And right here, you'll see that it says HP Desktop Jet. It's ULPT0. Now, I've done this two different ways. I used the UGen number on the Marketplace 790, and it worked just fine. On an HP computer, I used the ULPT0, and it worked just fine. But if I read this right, let's see right here, it says note that X, Y, and Z should be replaced with the target USB listed in the dev USB directory that corresponds to the printer. To find the correct device, examine the output of dmessage where UGen XY lists the printer device, which is a symbolic link to a USB device in USB. I'm taking that as I need to, right here, this is what we need to put in. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy that. And for now, just paste it right here. Oops. And that way I'll have it when we do the next step. So let me close out of the dmessage here. Bring this back down. Control L will clear that screen. So where do we need to do this at? We need to do this in Etsy dev fs period rule. Copy that. Say sudo ee Control V to paste there. Now in here, we're going to copy this entire. Let me go ahead and right click and copy, and then I'll show you. This comes out of right here. This is right on the CUPS handbook. So you don't think that I'm getting this out of my hat somewhere. I'm going to paste that in there. It's going to tell me that it's a unsafe paste, but I'm going to do it anyway. Excuse me. Now I'm going to go back to the X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to see if I can copy. Right there. Oops. Make sure I'm in the right place there. There we go. UGen 2.5. Got an extra space there. System in brackets. System equals 10 in bracket. Add path the UN LPD. And now the asterisk is a wild card, meaning it's going to work on any USB device you plug it into. We've determined through USB config and dmessage that we're running UGen 2.5. We put that in here. I'm going to use the escape key, leave the editor, save the changes, Control L. All right, so our cups is now configured. Now we want to make sure this stuff, every time we log into our machine, we want to make sure all this is running. In order to do that, we're going to put that in our etc rc.conf file. And I'm going to say hash mark for USB printing. Couple more hash marks. Go back down to here. And I'm going to copy and paste both of those lines into here. It's going to warn me again of unsafe paste, but I'm going to do it anyway. So now when we reboot in our etc.rc.conf is going to start our cupsd and our system. So we'll be back into here in just a minute, but for now I'm going to close out with the escape key, leave the editor, save the changes, Control L. Now we are going to, instead of rebooting, which is my preferred method, we're going to go ahead and just start it if it's not running already by running sudo user/local/etc/rcd cupsd start, starting cups. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and add a USB printer because we've got it set up in cups. Paste this and run system config printer with sudo privileges. And we're going to click on add. And wow, nice. It's a good sign when you see it right here listed. I'm going to left click on that. And because this is USB, I'm going to highlight USB, a printer connected to a USB port. I'm going to say forward, and it's going to search for the drivers for the 4100 plus. And it's taking a minute, but it hadn't gave up. Okay, any day now. Well, this is taking an inordinate amount of time. As long as it finds them, I don't mind waiting. Uh-oh. There was an error during the cups operation. No error 0. I'll cancel that. I'm going to cancel this. And I'm going to close out of this. And I'm going to reboot. And then I'll come back to exactly to where we're at right here. Close out all that. We're going to save that. And I'll be back. Okay. I've rebooted. And it's the device manager for the HP device tray. I'm going to say okay. That's all right. So now let's bring up LibreOffice Writer. And by reason, we should be connected to a printer, but rather than printing a test file, oh no, I didn't add it yet. That's all right. This needs to be open anyway. So I need to bring up a terminal. Sudo system config printer. All right, now there's no printers. We're going to say add. And again, it's listed right there. And we're going to connect using a USB. Say forward, and it'll search for the drivers again. Hopefully this time it'll pick them right up after the reboot. I don't like it when it takes so long like that. That's not looking good. Oh, there, and no error Z. So I think where I put UGen 2.5, I might need to go back to the ULPT 0. In fact, I'm gonna cancel that. Cancel this. Close out of this. And let's see, sudo message. And right here, ULPTZ. So I'm gonna bring up another terminal. Say sudo copy EE push C. Go back into here. And instead of making that UGen, I'm going to change that to ULPT0. You do it like that. All right, now save the changes. Control L. Now let's make sure that it's running. And it's all cups is already running. Okay, cool. All right, so now back to system configure printer. Let's try this again. Add the printer, Deskjet, USB, forward. And there we go. So now we have a USB printer. And we're going to just say Office USB. And we're going to say apply. And I'm not going to print a test page yet. And as by the check mark there, that means it's default. Let me go open up Office. Say this is a USB print test page. Make that bigger. You can tell I do a lot of stuff in Office. There we go. Make it bold. Now let's go see if we can make it print. Print preview. Show us what it's going to look like. We're going to print one page, print. And hopefully you can hear that printer going. Be right back. And there it is. Complete. Put that aside now. Minimize this. All right. So now we're going to close out of this. Close out of the terminal. Now let's make ready to do our US or Wi-Fi connection. All right. Before I do, there is a good guide right here. It's berkeley.edu / Tittle Reinhold's FreeBSD cup setup, as well as the cup setup here. But this tells you how to do it more for wireless. I'm going to minimize that, and you'll have to trust me that all of this came out of there. So the US printer was a success using the USB. Gutenprint's already installed. Foomatice is already installed. If it's not, you need to install them. First thing we're going to do is bring up a terminal. Excuse me. And I'm going to copy and paste this. Put us into a different directory. We're going to CD, change directory in the user local etc cupsd. Now if we go ls, you'll see in here is a cupsd.conf. We are going to modify this copy, or change mode. Sorry, we're going to change the mode of that, and change mode to 644 cupsd. Hit enter. All right. Now we got to edit the cups. Sudo de cups d.conf. Change that, or enter on that. I'm going to page down all the way to the very bottom. Create me a little space there. Now, here we get a little confusing. The browser address here is set for 192.168.0.255. Now, that's going to be different for every computer, every internet connection. To quickly find out, you can just run ifconfig, ifconfig, and hit enter. And right here is under inet, this is the number we're looking for. So whatever this number is right here for your broadcast, that's the number that you want to put right here, 192.168.0.255. And make sure that this number, it corresponds. If it's a 1 here, make sure it's a 1 and a 1. So, got that. Close out of that. I'm going to copy, paste all of that. Again, it's going to warn me that this is a unsafe paste. We'll say added D. Enter and then Control Shift B. I'll say paste it anyway. We got browse address 192.168.0.255. And again, find out what yours is, run ifconfig. And it's not the inet, it's the broadcast. And then we got greater than or lesser than location space / greater than order deny allow, deny from all, allow from. So this allows any computer that's connected to 192.168.0 whatever to print from this computer. We are out of here. Check all that. All that looks good. We'll escape. Leave the editor. Save the changes. Control L. Clear that screen. Now let's see what else we got to do. Now we got to go back into our Etsy rc.conf file. We get rid of that. Just bring up a terminal. Control Shift V. Let me get sudo rights. Sudo. Enter. And we just came in here for cups. This will be for wireless. And then we'll go down to here. And instead of typing that, I'm just going to copy and paste it. Copy. Over here. Control Shift V. That's dev file system or device file system, devfs underscore system underscore rule set equals in double quotes login. Now we do have something very similar right here for cups, but this is for wireless right here. And that's it. So escape, leave the editor, save the changes, Control L. Now let's check and see if cups is still running. Go here first and write sudo. Come down to that end, change that start to status, see what happens. Cups is running. The process ID is 1651. Close that. Okay, now we should be able to add our wireless printer, but I rebooted, so I should reboot and then come back. And we'll come back right here to where we're at. So let me close that. Close the terminal. Close my LibreOffice. And let's save it. Just write straight to Dennis and call it Untitled. Or let's call it Print Test. That way we'll know. Print test, save, close that out, close out all the internet stuff, close them tabs. Okay, one more step. Okay, so I'm back. Got my OBS set up. We're going to run this system config printer again. Sudo privileges. First, let's make sure that we're not, that it did start when we rebooted, and it did. Process ID number. So now let's run system config printer with sudo rights. And there we go. So now we're going to click on the add button. And we should be able to click on the network printer. And if it's available, there it is. So we're going to left click on that. Highlighted is HP Linux Imaging Printing, HPLIP. We're going to accept that. And the address is 192.168.0.133. So let's push forward. Let it search for drivers. And that was quick. And let's go call this one wireless. And wireless again. That way there's no question. All right. We're now going to print a test page. We'll make that the default printer. System wide. And now the default printer is the wireless printer. Bring up my LibreOffice again. Now for the wireless. The test. All right. Print preview. This is what the page will look like. Print. And I hope you can see that or hear that. It's definitely printing. Success. Get that. I'll be right back. And here we go. Hope we can see that. That's the one I just printed. Close all that out, not save. Printer is now hooked up through the USB and the wireless. Now, one thing you can do is you can delete the one that's on the USB if you want to. You can leave it there. It's not hurting anything. But you can delete it and then have your wireless as default. And then that way you won't have to worry about it. But if you're going to be in a place where your USB could be hooked up all the time, then you'll have to make your own choice. Well, that's it. That's going to do it on this video. I hope this works out for you. And, oops. We'll catch you on another video. Peace out. Good luck printing. Bye.